Hi, everybody. Welcome to the stream. World of Horror? Yeah, I know about World of Horror. Um, I think it's on my list of, like, stuff to get. But, anyways, hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Thursday stream. It's, I kind of had, like, no freaking idea what I was going to be doing today. But then I figured it out. But, let me just do my little intro here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lodge. My name is Moose and Monk. I am a lumberjack by day and a playboy by night. And just like the trees, I hope you'll fall for me too. We have got a kind of unique stream for you today. I found a game because we played. Gotta love the catchphrase. Yeah, exactly. I love it too. All of my other VTuber friends, like I have not stopped getting compliments on that intro and like how fucking smooth it is. I was just like, oh, you know. Oh, excuse me. Got a lot of crap in my throat today. Uh, but yeah, today's let me turn this down just a little bit. Turn that back up. How's the music? Good level? I'm gonna assume it's a good level. How was my commute today? Oh god, yeah. So, um, Invictus and I and Triboy there, we all live in the same general area, and we got hit by a frickin' frost storm last night, and everything was glazed in ice. And luckily, the road crews got out there pretty quick, so it was a pretty easy drive. I'm actually gonna move this over here so I can see. Ah, there we go. It was a pretty okay drive, but it definitely took me a lot longer to actually get my car started up and going because I had an eighth inch thick sheet of ice on my windshield. So there's that. Yeah. Huh. That was fun scraping off this morning. But hey, we at least we don't have tsunamis or hurricanes. Only the occasional tornado. How was your guys' day? Because I want to hear about your guys' day before I get into the shit show that this week and today has been. I was scraper comb my dad and step on mountain for Christmas few goes. I swear by that thing. Yeah, I got a scraper set for my parents a while back, and it finally broke. So I just bought the same one, same like company, just like a slightly different model. God, I love that thing. My day has consisted of watching stuff and doing laundry. Well, hey, that works. I fucking hate doing laundry. The wife actually did a bunch of laundry today, so what? I am like, not that I don't want to smile at you guys, but I seem to be smiling just a bit too much. Try and recalibrate here. There we go. That's a bit better. Now it looks like I'm talking normally. I'm washing my sheets right now. They were long overdue. A bed sheet, yeah. Bed sheets are like one of the things that like everyone always forgets to wash. But it's because you never think about it. But hey, now you got clean sheets. and you do that thing where you hop into bed and put the blanket over you and like just like start wiggling around like clean sheets, yay! Because I do that all the time. It's like one of the first things I do after we get a new sheet on. I will literally hop on the bed. Yeah, they smell better too. Because you like I don't know how many hours people sleep, but like over the course of 2 weeks, it's just like you're just you're laying there for hours, just sweating into your bed and sheets. So, yeah, you get used to the dirty sheets, so you can forget that you forget what clean ones feel like. Yeah, that's happened a few times too. Just because like all this other stuff happened around the time we were supposed to do it. Also, excuse me 1 second. I I need to clear my throat. Oi. It's been really dry here lately, and then I've like refilled our humidifiers, so now we're finally getting some humidity in the house, and now I'm like my throat's all just like, oh, moisture. Blah. Anyways, yeah, so that's pretty neat. It has been a shit show of a week at work. Just a couple of specific things, but like in general, just a lot of stupid bullshit. And if you don't know, I'm an appliance mechanic, and so we fix we fix all these machines and stuff, but we also take care of other stuff and yada yada. Well, one of my buildings has been down for a while, and we got what's called a punch list, which is essentially just boss went in, took a look at stuff, and wrote down a whole bunch of things that he wants us to take care of. So we've been plugging away on that, but with one of my buildings down, I got transferred to another building to take care of that. And despite the excuse me. Sorry, I just ate dinner. Good jams! Welcome in. Despite that building having undergone the same treatment my building is currently going through a couple of months ago, somehow the guy that was taking care of it let it all go to shit in those couple of months. So I'm trying to fix everything else that he screwed up while taking care of my other open building and taking care of this punch list. I've been a busy moose this week. And today was the cherry on goddamn top, and it's not even Friday. Hold on, I need my angry eyes. The cherry on top, and it's not even Friday. So, the aforementioned building that I got ownership of had a problem with one of their hot chocolate dispensers. These things aren't that hard to figure out. But I am already, at the time of the call, I was already guts deep in a dish machine that has been busted and been the bane of my fucking existence the past couple months. Shotgun Ninja, welcome in. Hi, good to see you. So I get this call while I'm guts deep in this machine, trying to replace a couple of parts that, were supposed to fix it. In fairness, hot chocolate dispensers are vital in winter where we live. I mean, yes, but you're really gonna side with me on this when I tell you what happened. So this building is roughly 2 city blocks away from my current building. I don't have a van, so I have to walk my ass over there. And while it did warm up a bit more today, it was still fucking cold out. And there was still ice on the walkways. So I get my happy ass over there. Was the hot chocolate dispenser super simple fix that the person installing insisted they already did? Yes and no. So I get there, I get to the building, and I look at the hot chocolate machine. I find the one that's down. I open it up, and I immediately see what's wrong. So the hot chocolate comes as a concentrate, and it comes in a bag in a box. And what you do is you open the box and you pull the stem out, and you puncture the bag so the hot chocolate flows down the stem into the machine, and then it gets all mixed up and dispensed. Couldn't be simpler. I'm looking at the box, and they didn't puncture the fucking bag. So, the chocolate must below. He who controls the chocolate controls the universe. Dune. Hot chocolate wars. So I go to find the manager of that building. So it wasn't even a machine issue, user error. Correct! So I go to find the manager. I find the manager. I ask him, hey, who set up the Bev bar? Now, when I say the words Bev bar, are we all in agreement that the word Bev, spelt B-E-V, is an abbreviation for beverage? I should hope so, because it's what we call it. Oh no, it's... Let's talk about somebody named Beverly, yes. No, Lance, it gets worse. So he looks at me like a deer in the headlights, confused as all hell. I'm like, who set up your beverage bar? And he's like, what? I ask him a third and final time, who set up your beverage bar? He was like, oh, I don't know who did it. Couple problems with this. He is the fucking manager. He assigns who does things. And the fact that he doesn't know that, red flag 1. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Come on, let's go over to the machine, and I'll show you exactly what's wrong. Now, I should mention, these hot chocolate machines are also coffee machines. They dispense both coffee and hot chocolate. All right? They're both bag and box with stem, systems, concentrate systems. Easy. Simple. Or so I goddamn thought, apparently. So I tell him, yeah, someone called me because there was a problem with your hot chocolate machine. The coffee machine and the hot chocolate wasn't dispensing. Now, these buildings, they have general seating, and then they have a guest/VIP lounge. It's really just a slightly separate room where the guests and the VIPs and higher-ups can eat away from, the general populace. And it's got a coffee machine in there. Guess where this motherfucker walks over to? If you guessed the VIP lounge coffee machine, ding, 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 fucking ding. Correct. So I'm like, no, the coffee machine on your Bev bar. And apparently the word Bev bar scrambled this motherfucker's brain so goddamn hard that I had to literally point. Hold on, actually, wait. Oops. I have got to... Hold on. Sorry. Wrong hockey. I had to literally point at the Bev bar. The bar that has all the beverages on it. Now, I'm already a little bit annoyed because I got pulled away from a job I'm already working on. And this motherfucker is acting like he literally just got here. When I know he has been working at this place for a while. So, I take him over to the machine, where I have already pulled out the hot chocolate. That's the problem. And I put it in front of him, and I say, do you see what's wrong here? And he looks at it, and then he walks away to go find the other manager that was apparently the one that called me. Now, I didn't know this at this point, because he just started fucking walking away. So I follow him, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, where in the hell are you going? Why? We're right here. But he finds the other manager that called me. And boy howdy, this manager must have been... Oh, Lance, I'm telling you, it gets worse. Now, this manager is like, I've never seen her before, but she is greener than spring grass, apparently, to this whole management thing. So I go through with it for both of them on how to load this damn thing. And then I noticed on the other side of the Bev bar, because there's two sides to it, there's two lines that the people can go down. I noticed that the coffee machine on the other side wasn't working either. But that's because it had an internal lockout because it hadn't been cleaned yet. It's supposed to be cleaned in between every meal. So, now mind you, I'm already kind of annoyed because I got pulled away from a machine that was already annoying the hell out of me to come deal with this bullshit. I get everything going, I tell them what they need to do. It starts, it's going, it's alright, cool. I go back, ice cream machine broke. Do not wish that hell upon me. It's good, whatever. I leave. My job is done. I go back to working on this hell of a dish machine. Day ends. I get back to the warehouse. One of my bosses is like, hey, did you get into it with one of the managers? I was like, what? It's like, yeah. Well, we got a call that you were really mean and yelling and uh, you know calling the managers names and stuff. I hadn't called them a single fucking name, and yes, I was snippy because I was kind of annoyed because of this whole fucking situation. But I didn't do any of that shit. So I look at my boss, and I'm just like, oh, you mean the call that I got when I got there? That it was something that they should have known how to fucking do? Because they're the goddamn managers? The ones that are supposed to teach the employees how to do this? Yeah. Yeah, I got a little bit fucking snippy. And I explained the whole situation to him. And, like, I don't think I'm getting any, like, in sort of any real trouble, per se. Trust me, I've seen you mad. This isn't near you being mad. Yeah, no. It was just more fucking annoying than anything. And, like, I think I was a little bit dehydrated, too. So yeah, I also hadn't eaten lunch yet, so I was a little bit, cranky. But yeah, that's how my fucking Thursday went. Oy. But anyways, why is that playing again? Yeah, that was my day, and all I can really say, get soggy. Pro about today, I got to work remote. Nice. Also, Scrap Patch, hi, welcome in. Good to see you. Get soggy, dehydrated moose man. Yeah, I do need a little bit of a drink after going on that rant. Kind about today. I'm still working. What the fuck? Why in the goddamn are you still working at 6:30? What the fuck? Hydrate. I just did. You can look. The webcam tracking is not fucking perfect, but you can see what I hydrate. See, watch. I'm gonna do it right now. For everyone else, dumb. Well, yeah. I mean, fair point. You shall be getting hydrated too, chat. Drink your fucking water. Now. Oh, I love these toggles. Because this task I got assigned takes for fucking ever. Boss man says he's going to assign a third person to help out with this. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Oh, yeah. Scrap Badge. I know who you are. I know you know me. But yeah, you weren't able to make it to the debut stream. Hold on, let me show you everything. I got a cool ass jacket. I can flex on you. I got my finger guns for chat. And hold on, let me move that here. Let me get a little more intimate. I can pop my pecs. Let's go back down a bit. The rest of the fit is just jeans and boots, and my sick ass belt buckle, and of course my fez. But yeah, I got my jacket. Uh, what's a lumberjack without their axe? He's got jiggle physics. Damn straight. Look at my pump wiggle. And then, yeah, I got a shotgun with a separate pump toggle. You like it when I pump my gun, chat? I can yeet myself away. Oop, and I'm back down there. Whoop. Back up here. Everybody likes to jiggle. Commence the jiggling, y'all. But yeah, I've also got my flirty, sparkly face, and I've got my angry eyes. Whenever I'm sad, or something scares the fuck out of me, like the fact that Invictus is still working. Captain Gazpacho, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in. I was just showing off my toggles and everything. All right, get myself a little bit bigger here. Cam, welcome in. Good to see you. All right, I suppose we should probably get to a little bit to today's content. I don't know how long it's going to take. We might go a little bit over the 2 hours, which is okay because I need the stream hours for the whole path to affiliate thing. Second favorite mod? Come on, Cam. Don't do that to me. Don't make me choose. Spooky time? Almost spooky time. So I might have mentioned this at the start of the stream. I had no fucking idea what the hell I was going to do today. But then I figured it out. So, the last stream I did was Worshippers of Cthulhu, which is a, Cthulhu-themed city builder. Oh, excuse me. Oh, fucking Sophie's Choice with the Twitch mods. No. But I was like, well, it's a... Ah, God. I am all sorts of bodily functions right now. So then I remembered I have this game that's like, it's supposed to be a really short game, which is perfect because the weekday streams or weeknight streams are supposed to be a little bit shorter because time constraints. Yay, schedules. And I figured, okay, well, this game only supposed to take like around an hour, but I need to do something else to fill in that time. Like, all right, well, yes, I can yap about this and that for a little bit, but yeah, I need something else. So I figured, because the game we're going to be playing today is called Dagon. And if you didn't know, Dagon was one of the first stories that Lovecraft wrote that was the real, like, start to the, the Eldritch horror and cosmic horror and the whole Cthulhu mythos. So I figured what we would do, because I've been told by someone actually in here that I apparently have a very good voice for reading. So what I figured we'd do is I will actually read Dagon to you guys, and then we'll play the game and see how they compare. How's that sound? I thought it was a fantastic idea. Oh, God. My nose. Alright. So. Yes. uh, do voices. I can't really do voices because it's you'll see. But I will try to voice act as best I can some of the later parts in the story that require it. But I think what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take a quick little break so I can go degunchify myself and get ready to read. All right. I mean, we're a little bit early, but the fake ad break, everyone. Get up, stretch, go grab water. Um, if you want to like grab a blanket and go turn off the lights and like make a quick cup of tea or something, because it's story time soon. All right, all right. Obviously, I'm gonna leave the music running. Enjoy overwork, and where to go? See you guys in probably end of the song. I said till the end of the frickin' song. Anyways, hi Trash, and don't worry, it's fine. You have called me monk since the day you met me. I know it's a little bit of a switch. Ugh. Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. So it's fine, Invictus. It's fine. I don't actually take it seriously. It's fine. All right. So we're actually I'm going to switch the tone a little bit here. No, not that one. Because what's... Nope, not that one. Where'd it go? Too many of these goddamn symbols are circles. It is... Ugh. But, hey, what's spooky story time without a little bit of, ambiance? So if you're just joining, I'm actually going to be reading you guys a story today. And, I'm going to be, like, kind of looking down a lot and everything, because, imagine there's a book down there, and then I'm reading to you. Because I have to look down to read the book. I might have to move my mic a little bit. So, please, tell me if... Can't be scary than the bullshit I'm working on. Yeah, probably not. But, tell me if I get a little bit low, as far as sound goes, okay? Music, a good level? Does he hear that, chat? It's an actual book. In the year of our Lord, 2025. All right. Yes. So we're gonna read Dagon, and then we're gonna play Dagon. I have to figure out how I'm gonna hold this with my mic in front of me and everything. It's gonna be fun. Okay. Move this a little bit closer to me. Give you a little bit of that, like, half-baked ASMR. God. All right. So let's get into it, shall we? Dagon by H.P. Lovecraft. I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more. Penniless and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer. Here's somewhere where the M stands for moose. Jeez. I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Actually, I'm going to pin that. Do not think of my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. Oh my god, my throat. Sorry, dad noises. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death. It was in one of the most open and less frequented parts. Why throat? Throat, seriously. Shit hits different in 2024. Okay, I think or 2025, wherever we are, it must be all the morphine. It's all the morphine in my throat, chat. Alright, I think I finally got it out. Increase the saga, continue the saga. Which we will. So, where was I? Jay, you guys can't keep making me laugh, otherwise I'm never going to get through the book. Or the story. And it's only 6 pages. Not even. It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider. Oh. Content warning. Lovecraft stuff is very much a product of its time. There may be some allusions and or words that may not exactly be up to today's standards. So there you go. There's your disclaimer. The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their degradation, so that our vessel was made a legitimate prize. Whilst we and our crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due to us as naval prisoners, so liberal indeed was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat, with water and provisions for a good length of time. When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight. The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land. But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know, for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous. When at last I waked, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which that my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at the prodigious and unexpected transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality, which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unmutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing, and nothing in sight, save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet. As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory would explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions which for innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths. So great was the extent. My cat did a thing and now I'm lost. Hold on. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me, that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, strain my ears as I might, nor were any seafowl to prey upon the dead things. Excuse me a moment, my cat is getting into things he shouldn't be. Sorry. He's trying to really protect me from the eldritch horrors. I have my own Cthulhu totem. I'm fine. Alright, where was I? For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue. On the third morning I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight and evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal. All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hammock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert. That night I encamped, and on the following day still traveled towards the hummock. Sorry, not a hammock, a hummock. Though the object seemed scarcely nearer than I had first espied. By the fourth night, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again, and in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence. I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of a vague horror to me, but I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Though my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite as perpendicular as I had imagined. Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual. Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood at the gentler slopes beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps where no light had yet penetrated. All at once my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon. That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself, but I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and precision were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express, for despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely. The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions, and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets crashed at the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose rich surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures. The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me, and unlike anything I had ever seen in books, consisting, for the most part, of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound. Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas reliefs, whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Dore. Excuse me. It's a little dry in here again today. I also haven't read out loud like this in a while. Nope, hold on. Friggin' tickle's still there. Back, you tickle. Out of my throat, foul tickle. I have things to read. Get used to it now. You'll be reading aloud many moves before you know it. Yeah, probably, but probably not something this advanced in this many words. Alright, where was I? Bas reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Dore. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the water of some marine grotto, or paying homage to some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer, they were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background, for one of the creatures was shewn in the act of killing a whale, represented as but a little larger than himself. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendants had perished eras before the first ancestors of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into the past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing while the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then suddenly, I saw it, with only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface. The thing slid into view above the dark waters, vast, polyhemus-like, and loathsome. It darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, and while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds, I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little. I believe I sang a great deal, and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing. I have indistinct recollections of a great storm some time after I reached the boat, At any rate, I know that I heard peals of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital, brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in the mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing, nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe. Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist, and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god. But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries. It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug is given only transient sucrease? Sucrease? I'm not quite sure what that word is. And has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account, for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men. Often I ask myself if I could not all have been a pure phantasm, a mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of a deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may, at this very moment, be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carvings of their own detestable likeness on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down in their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink, and the dark ocean floor shall ascend amid universal pandemonium. The end is near. I hear a noise at the door as if some immense slippery body lumbering against it. It shall not find me. God, that hand! The window! The window! And that's it. That was Dagon. To the wall. Kimber! Jams, no. Don't. We're supposed to be spooky. Yeah, how'd you like that? I'm sorry, okay? Names. It was nice of the fish fella to leave a note behind after he murdered the dude. Well, I mean, it's a fish man. He doesn't know what writing is, or at least modern writing. Yeah, that was actually really cool. But was it the fish or the morphine? That's a good question. And I think that's yeah, you probably just can't read English. And that's one of the things I really do like about Dagon, like itself, is because like we already know that the guy's a drug addict, and this could just all be in his head from the morphine, and he's just, you know, he's just in a drug-induced state, writing all this down and seeing all these things, or if it actually happened to him. And I just like how it leaves it up to the interpretation, and the way that he just cries out about the window at the very last scene. We don't exactly know if he actually threw himself out the window, or if the fish man got him, or if in his, morphine-like state, he just passed the fuck out and just died. So yeah, that was Dagon. Or if even it was a fish fella coming after him, it could have been a human, for all we know. Yeah, it could have been a human too. It could have been just some guy breaking in that he thinks is a fish person because he's fucking jacked up on morphine. Right. Put that down there. Which half is the fish half? Welkishams, I mean, you've seen Innsmouth people, right? At least the half fish man. You've seen how they look, right? I would pull up a picture, but I'm not 100% sure how to do that. Okay, Jams, what I want you to do, go to Google, type in the Innsmouth look. I'll even type it in chat. Pull it up on your Moose phone. I don't have that toggle. And I don't have that, a nested scene for that yet. But yeah, look up the Innsmouth look at images, and then imagine that, but more fishy-like. And that's essentially like what the accepted visual representation of fish followers of Dagon look like. But so, we read the book, and now we're going to play the game. We got switch. Over the category. Then cool. A moose phone would have an antler, not an antenna. I mean, look, guys, I know we shed our antlers every year, but you ain't gotta use them as an antenna. I don't think they're very electrically conductive. But we move. I gotta do a little screen management here. Move you over here. And we're gonna turn off the ambient. Oh, that's what you meant by check my moose phone. I mean, okay, because that person that you posted, is like, I can't remember if he's the mayor of Innsmouth or something, but God, now you've got that stuck in my head. All right, let me. Sorry, still doing screen management. So many windows. That down. Open this. We're gonna go on over to the game screen. I'm gonna put myself down here in the corner. And I've got to launch that. Fingers crossed it, game capture. Dagon. Audio capture. Dagon. Alright, cool. There we are. Oh god, that is loud. Okay, hold on. Bring that down for you guys. Oh god, my ears. Ugh. we're probably going to have to bring that down a little bit too. Okay. Apologies if that was a bit loud. But hey, it's nice to have a game where I can actually freaking adjust the sound settings. How's the audio compared to me? Am I good? Is the game a little loud? I need to know. Thumbs up, perfect, fantastic, awesome. So we're gonna get into it then. So this game is called Dagon, and it's supposed to be a very faithful to the story, almost like interactable. Like I'm guessing it's like a walking simulator of some sort, if you were to categorize it, but it's set to the story we just read, Dagon, and it was free, which is cool. And two, there is over here. Oh, hey, there it goes. There is DLC for this, and if you buy the DLC, all the proceeds that they make from the DLC go to helping the war in Ukraine. But let's get into it and see and compare and contrast. So bundle up. We're going to get visually spooky. Alright. Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Opening line, alright. During the game, you encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. So we got the circle, we've got a branch, and we've got a question mark. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these signs, focus your eyes and look for the elder sign. Alright, so they want... I mean, that's kind of debatable. Dude seems a little quiet comparatively. Okay, I can turn the voiceovers back up a little, because it was just blasting in my ears. But yeah, so we're gonna look, so we can focus and find the elder sign. Cool. All right. So if I go here, whoop, turn those voiceovers up a bit. Resume. Oh wow! Even the wallpaper is very like I know this is supposed to be some sort of like periwinkle-esque filigree, but in context, it looks very much. Make it an even number. No, this is my stream. You can't tell me what to do on my stream. It is your drug den, my guy. Essentially, yeah, I guess so. Very tiny one, too. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Obviously, we've got the morphine, and booze, and papers. Also, Seeker, find the first piece of trivia. Lovecraft's letters. Also, there's a lot of reading in this game too, so hope you enjoyed the sound of my voice reading to you before, because we're going to do a lot more. Well, yeah, you can't afford a bigger one. He needs the money for drugs. As to letters, my case is peculiar. I write such things exactly as easily and as rapidly as I would utter the same topics in conversation. Indeed, epistolary expression is with me largely replacing conversation. As my condition of nervous prostration becomes more and more acute, I cannot bear to talk much now, and am becoming as silent as the spectator himself. My loquacity extends itself on paper. H.P. Lovecraft to Reinhard Kleiner, December 23rd, 1917. Throughout his life, Lovecraft penned around 100,000 letters to his friends and fans, out of which about 10% survive to this day. That is nuts. But his tendency to endless correspondence was a relatively late growth. In youth, I scarcely did any letter writing. Thanking anybody for a present was too much of an ordeal that I would rather have written a 250-line pastoral or a 20-page treatise on the rings of Saturn. Selected letters 1929 to 1931, H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft would often skip meals to afford postage. Collections of his correspondence have been published in various books, and selected letters can be found online. Some readers consider them his most important legacy. I mean, aside from the stories, yes, I can see that. You can rediscover trivia immediately or go back to them later in the main menu. Turn off displaying trivia if you find the feature distracts you from the story. This can be changed at any time in the options. Show trivia upon finding them. Yes. You are. People feel that way about Tolkien's letters as well. I mean, it makes sense because they're not the stories. Because like, you can go out and buy an omnibus of all the stories. What you can't exactly buy are the letters. I mean, you can read them, and I'm sure there's people that have scanned them, but when you read the letters, that's his own personal correspondence to someone else. It's his exact thoughts and what he wanted to convey to these people. Or maybe sometimes, some of them were just literally just like, I ate a fish today, and then I felt really bad. What did you eat, Lord Dunsay? Have you ever felt bad about eating a certain thing? So yeah, sometimes it can be cool stuff. Other times it's just utter nonsense and like letters for conversation. You would have not for how you've made postage. Correct! As we just learned. Alright. So I know that's going to progress the story. Let's take another just quick look around here. What else? No. Alright, on we go.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
Okay. So I think what's going to happen here is this narrator is just basically going to do what I just did. But we're going to have visuals and shit.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Alright, let's see. So we've got that, we've got that. Let's take a look here. Morphine. Morphine entered into use in the 19th century as routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War and World War I. It was also sold without restriction until 1914. Oh man, the time where things weren't restricted but to sale. Oh boy. Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Friedrich Sertuner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it morphium. Morpheus. Oh, jeez. After Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. I mean, this is also the same time Coca-Cola's made the coca leaves. Correct! Coca-Cola. It's got that zip. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the United States. I don't see anything else, so...
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Alright, so we're on the boat. I don't think there's anything else here. So...
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Mm-hmm. The Huns. The Huns are Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on the 27th July 1900, before they embarked to China. I would like to remind everyone that history. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated, nor quarter will be given, prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited, just as 1,000 years ago when the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare look cross-eyed at a German. Short for honey. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the laws and customs of the war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899. Well, yeah, but, well, we've all taken history. We know what Germany did. Oh, boy. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. That would make him Attila the Honey. Well, I mean, the man sired so many kids, so, you know. Alright, let's see here. The boat.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Oh, that's right, I am getting infused with Genghis Khan. I mean, I don't doubt, Attila got around either, but, So we got provisions. Alright. And off we go.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Also, I hope no one has a fear of the open ocean, because oh,
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
yeah, okay. Oh, I can look all the way around now. That nothing here. Oh, towards the moon.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
God, could you just imagine just being out in the open ocean, the only thing standing between you and the murky depths is a couple of planks with some tar on them? God. Alright. Where's our next clue point? Is it up? Oh, duh. I still had the thing. Ah, okay. Anything else?
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept.
Also, is it just me, or are you guys hearing, like, it might be just a little bit louder in my ears, but like I'm hearing voices in the backgrounds of like the music. And it's kind of freaking me out a little bit, which is good because it's Lovecraft. And I wanted that. But at the same time, that's spooky. Is it better or worse than the Black Mire he's going into? Well, we read the story, so.
Its details I shall never know. For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Looks like some sort of mutated cuttlefish? And just. Ugh. Alright, chat. Now we're. It was the Reapers. God. We're getting into the meat of it. Ah. Get it? Get it? Meat? Fish? Fish? Meat? I'll see myself out. Anything else? That one has. Okay, I don't know if that's just a reflection or if that one just had legitimately glowing red mono eye. Hermaeus Mora, is that you?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
Oh.
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
Lord Helix? Is that you? Also, this one's still got something in it. Oh god, I just noticed the other thing. Ah. Jesus. They did a really good job representing this.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing, and nothing in sight, save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
Boy howdy, sure is dark over there.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Jesus. Let's see. Anything else to find here? No, I don't think so. Oh, the squelching.
As I
Ah.
crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Oh, hey. Tin of fish. My sack and another fish. Another tin of provisions and something ugly. And that thing I woke up next to. And my oars are all fucked. And God. They really did a good... These guys did a really good job with the visuals. Like, oh God. I did not even notice that. Oh. Oh, that makes me... That... That does not make me feel well. Oh, but we got a thing over here. The mystery of volcanic islands. Volcanic eruptions. Big uncomfy. Agreed. Volcanic eruptions sometimes result in the creation of islands. Most of them were transient and eroded after some time, but some prove permanent. Like Hawaii. The floating pumice, porous rock created when the superheated pressurized rock is just ejected from a volcano, can move across long distances and transport barnacles and macroalgae that cling to it. The Hummer brand hammock? The hummock? No, I don't think that's the hummock. Or it might be the hummock. God, I hope it's not the hummock. And microalgae that cling to it. In 2001, rafts of pumice created during the eruption of a volcano near Tonga, Polynesia, eventually reached Australia. Damn. Damn, Earth, you scary. Gotta go see the massive monolith. Yeah, we're gonna go see the massive monolith. Hold on. We gotta get through the queue first, honey. Now drink your water. Which, by the way, I should probably hydrate myself, and you should hydrate too. Alright, let's see what this fishy has to say.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Oh god, it's still moving. Also, I was kind of focused on the last scene, but that was a trilobite. I guess it's the pack. Yes, it's the pack. Let's check. Anything else? No. Okay. Monolith is
On the
plenty
third
hydrated.
morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Yeah, looks like our cuttlefish friend finally died. Also, Jesus, that is one flat motherfucker over there.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Alright. See. Yeah, look at that fucker. He is flat as shit. I'm going to tell you my funny story about trilobites at some point. You'll have to remind me. You know, actually, hold on. I'm going to actually. You know what? Have some chat for the triloboys. DM it to me. Or put it in our, in our Discord. And just tag me or something. Because I'll read it. I'll read it after stream. Oh, we walked over the. Why?
All day I forged steadily westward,
Oh
guided by
God!
a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
There it is, the hummock. Also, excuse me a minute, chat. My cat seems to have gotten into something. We're gonna go to the BRB screen because I gotta get up really quick. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Sorry. It's my cat Hondo. I love him dearly. But he is an orange cat. And thus does orange cat things. Like knocking stuff over. And making a mess while I'm trying to stream. And while Minnie Moosin is trying to sleep. Anywho, continue, shall we? Alright, so we got the hummock over there, and these things. God. What in the fuck are those giant ass claws? What the fuck is this? And that. Oh, that's just a rock. Also, this rock looks vaguely lobster shaped. Alright. Continue, shall we? Oh god, it got worse. It got worse. Okay, so, Chad, if you didn't know, I have arachnophobia, and part of, a rock lobster. You should have been here last stream. The VOD's up, though, if you want to watch it. Yeah, I have arachnophobia, and part of that arachnophobia is the fucking legs, man. They scare they skeeze me the fuck out. And like, I kind of get the same thing with crabs, just because of like how their legs look and everything. So I have absolutely no problem eating crab legs, but like seeing it. You didn't know I was arachnophobic? Yes, I am severely arachnophobic. Like, you know those like meet the insects and reptiles thing, and there's always the guy, the one that brings a fucking tarantula and is just like, oh yeah, it's just a tarantula, don't be scared of it, it won't do anything if you're not scared of it. If you're not scared of it, it won't bite you. It'll only react to you. And like, I can't do it. So is it all arthropods or just spiders and crabs? Just spiders and crabs, really. Or just like, it's kind of hard to explain, because like, I have to like look at it and then I'll tell you if it gives me the heebie-jeebies or not. But back to what I was saying, the guy that always has a fucking spider, and like, I've never done any of those things, but I know that if one of those guys was like, here, hold this, and just put a fucking tarantula in my hand, I would... No. No. I would do my best to keep extremely calm and very nicely but sternly tell the man that for the safety of both me and his tarantula, to get the tarantula out of my fucking hand. So yeah, I don't like spiders. Or this. Like, even just like looking at this kind of skeezes me out a little bit. This one not so much because I can't see the end of it, but it's like, I know it's there. There we go, toggle that off. And then, hey look! A whale. God, I have to zoom in on it to see if I'm missing anything. No. Okay. Onwards to the hummock!
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Oh god, now it's sea slugs and large undulating... Look at the size of this damn thing. Like, that goes up and down and up and down. And I don't know if that going down there continues under me and goes over to that. The sheer fucking scale of this thing is horrifying enough.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Goddamn. That's a big hummock.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the mountains.
Yeah, but the one bad thing about this whole thing is I can't see goddamn shit. I got a light overhead, I got a light shining at my face, and then the other thing is that I know my monitors, the darks are very dark. Oh, hey, look, some green. Alright, so that's the pack. But let's take another look around. No. Oh, hey. The Loner. Contrary to popular opinion, Lovecraft was not an ever-frowning, eccentric, grumpy loner. He considered himself to be a person who appreciated humor. Moreover, he would often meet with friends in his apartment or at various cafes in Brooklyn and Manhattan. At times, his social life was so intensive, his work would suffer for months. See, I actually didn't know that. Because, everything you hear, definitely does paint him as, a loner. Or, a bit of an introvert, but, hey, I guess not. There was a point when he finally decided he needed to put an end to daily meetings and loitering in New York cafeterias and resorted to hiding at home. Well, excuse me. I guess that's where it came from. Also, it's odd that appreciated humor and hiding at home, and in some of these things are just very bold compared to everything else. Resort to hiding at home and reading with the main room light turned off, pretending he wasn't there whenever a friend knocked on his door. He also had another method of deterring his guest, which involved greeting them in a bathrobe, with an unmade bed visible in the background and piles of papers scattered across the floor. Well, that's just me if you show up too early. Alright. Well, let's climb this hummock.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Okay, so we're just staring at the moon.
I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Anything else here? No, I don't think so. Well, also me in my studio, aka room.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent. While whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Alright, anything else? No. You can see something there, though, chat.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Ooh. Alright, so that's the continue. Is there anything else? No, I guess not. Well, let's go take a look at this monolith.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Anything else here? No.
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Oh, down we go.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Ooh, look at that. And secrets? Any other secrets?
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Oh, there he is, chat. There he is. It's Cthulhu. Alright, storytelling methods. Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountain of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and character notes, the Shadow of Time, the Hunter in the Dark, islands emerging from the ocean, Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Migo in The Whisper in the Darkness. Which, Whisper in the Darkness, that's a very good one. It's also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. What'd I tell you, chat? I was right. I am smart. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also concluded in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order to not spoil that ending. Well, we already kind of spoiled it because I already read it, but let's just continue on.
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
So, James, if you're still listening and still paying attention to the stream, this is what I was kind of trying to describe. Think more like merfolk, but scarier.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
God. Like that one right above the continues. That one's really creepy.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters. Vast, Polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
Jesus, okay, that thing is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Stay back, I have a gun.
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Oh, we got the crazy vision, chat.
I believe I
Oh
sang
God,
a great
right,
deal,
right
and
in front of me.
laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Let's go underneath it.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
Well, at least Lord Helix is safe.
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Also, I was right. That thing does have red eyes. Even the land has evolved into crab.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital. Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a early 1900s hospital. Complete with broken plaster.
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
God, I still can't get over how well... Oh wow, broken tiles too. That's not safe. But then again, this was the time before OSHA. Oh, hello. The Journalist. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in the decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Keep in mind, chat, this is a product of its time. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments, and at the proper time take advantage of the more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in the wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. Gee. Doesn't that sound familiar? No country is or ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. I mean, the guy ain't completely wrong. But that's getting into way heavier topics that we're not going to get into. Alright. Let's continue on.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
There he is, chat. There's Dagon. Let's take a little... Okay, so let's continue over there. Also, God, these pillars, holy crap. We really need to bring back this architecture. Like, there is, like, so much, like, cool stuff going on with it. And now everything's just millennial gray and fucking drywall. Like, yeah, I know it takes time to do this stuff. But, like, come on, man. Character! Alright. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, excuse me. Take a look at this. Dagon. Dagon? I think Dagon sounds cooler. Anyways, was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in the Assyrian poem, and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew, the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's work, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Alright, let's continue on.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Chat, do you see what I see there? And I'm pretty sure they're going to give us something for that. I was right. Oh, there's two. So, if you don't know, the Necronomicon is a book heavily referenced in many of Lovecraft's stories. August Derleth and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. That's right, yeah, Derleth. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Huh. Interesting. Then we have this one. Find half the trivia pieces hidden in the game. Cool! You can't see it, but I got an achievement called Horror Scholar. The Marketer. Lovecraft's attempts to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends. Among others, he stated freelancing for a marketing magazine where he would write announcements and commercials. Feel free to judge his copywriting skills for yourself. From an ad for Curtis Woodwork. Curtis Woodwork embraces both the usual constructional units and the cleverest contrivances of built-in or permanent furniture, such as bookcases, dressers, buffets, and cupboards. Every model is conceived and created with the purest art, ripest scholarship, and mellowest craftsmanship, which energetic enterprise can command, and made to conform rigidly to the architecture of each particular type of home. The cost, considering the quality, is amazingly low, and a trademark of the individual pieces prevents any substitution by careless contractors. Source: Lovecraft Studies, Volume 7, Number 1, H.P. Lovecraft, S.T. Joshi. You know, I actually have a book on Lovecraft's writing methods. And I really need to break that out for when I start writing for that Old Gods of Appalachia thing. Because I think it would help. As I myself am not the greatest writer. But at the same time, I can also write some pretty scary shit. One example would be that I may have ever so slightly traumatized one of my players when I was running Call of Cthulhu. Nightmares for 2 days, and they needed to step away from the VC for a little bit because they were crying so much. That's a story for another time, though. Alright. See, anything else here? How much can I turn? Okay, I can turn... Wow, a full 360! Alright, let's see, anything else in those cupboards? No. Alright. Continue on. I know we're getting towards the end, so we're gonna try and speed up a little bit because I am at a little bit of a time limit, just because I gotta go to bed soon. Alright, let's take a look. Obviously, there's gotta be something over here. Oh, there it is. The scientist. These days, the word scientist is a widely accepted term, but at the time Dagon was published, it was subject to a wide debate. After the author used it in the story, critics pointed out that man of science was a more appropriate term to employ. He admitted, in defense of Dagon, that if Dagon were to be reprinted, he would indeed use the phrase they suggested. Scientist, well, as we know, that didn't happen. Scientist was coined as an analog to artist and to be used when referring to those studying different branches of science. Yet in the 19th and early 20th centuries, scientific research in Great Britain and the United States were of the opinion that man of science, resembling the term man of letters, was the only proper choice. Among other things, it was gender specific, indicating that science was an endeavor to be pursued by only one sex. Product of its time! Oh, dude, if you want to spend the ratings you have, I can send you my favorite spooky story podcast. I have a lot of spooky story podcasts I listen to. But, as I said earlier, if you want to put it in the Discord, and just at me, I will probably check them out. The term scientist became more accepted only after World War II, and man of science started fading into obscurity as an old-fashioned synonym. As it should. Because, remember, man, woman, non-binary, trans, whatever else in between, you do whatever the fuck you want and be called whatever the fuck you want. Yes, that's right, Moosin says trans rights. And the man behind the moose says trans rights too.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
All right. Transphobes will meet a grim, moosey fate. Damn straight they will. It's just kind of up to them whether they want the axe or the multi-armed god of death. Ooh, okay. Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco. Even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult, in his correspondence with his friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced in his letter to Zelia Brown, dated 13th February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I've never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to, having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition. The prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as of any other. I mean, I don't really drink too much anymore either, but prohibition was just, boy, that was a time. Source: The Spirit of Revision, Lovecraft's Letters to Zelia Brown, Reed Bishop, H.P. Lovecraft, Sean Baraney, and Andrew Lehman, S.T. Joshi. So, okay, this is actually really cool. So, if you didn't know, I am a lifetime member and card-carrying member of the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. It's not like a super serious, like, noses in books all day, preserving everything that we find, blah 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 thing. Uh, even their like tagline is, and I'm probably butchering the translation of this because I believe it's Latin, is "Luto for putavitimus," which roughly translates to "just for fun." But Sean Baraney here, he is actually one of the founding members of the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. He's also done, he's done a lot of work. He also voice acted in a lot of the Historical Society produced Dark Pictures, hold on. I have it right next to me. Hold on, I can't remember the name. 1 second. It's called the Dark Adventures Radio Theater, which is like it has like the old timey feel, like the 1920s feel of like a gramophone of radio plays of a lot of Lovecraft stories and like some other ones that are like kind of tangentially related. But he also starred in in a role in Dreams in the Witch House, a Lovecraftian rock opera, which I own and is actually really fucking good. And like obviously I can't play it on stream because it's copyright. But we might somewhere down down along the line when I get a Discord set up, we'll probably do some listening parties where we listen to a story from the Dark Adventure Radio Theater because they are so well produced, and I bought every one of them that they had available at the time. They've got a couple more that came out, but they came in these like really cool binders, and each story, like, it's a CD, but each story came with like some like props and stuff that kind of like you can look at to kind of enhance the experience. It's all really cool. So yeah, I highly doubt he'll see it, but hi, Sean. Love your work. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. Well, I guess we're shooting up some morphine.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man of war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
Oh god, I already don't like this. Please don't. Please don't do something.
worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on
Oh, I
submarine
don't like
obelisks
that.
of water-soaked granite.
I don't like that at all.
I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Not New York! Oh god, look at them all.
The end is near.
Oh fuck.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Anything else here? No, okay.
It shall not find me.
Oh god, it got in.
God, that hand! The window! The window!
Okay, so I guess in this interpretation, we're going out the window. Oh, the crunch. Oh god. Holy shit. Once you buy your car's extended warranty. Oh god. Holy crap. Okay, so as far as like an immersive simulator goes, I wonder if there is two. I don't think there is, just because of the strict, with how much they went off the story. But maybe, I don't know. But holy crap, like as far as like no, hold on. We'll save this for the thing. Thank you for playing. If you, we hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate it if you took a moment to rate Dagon and check out the other games DLCs. I kind of do want to get the rest of these DLCs, because if they're of the same quality as this, I'm gonna love it. All right. That kicks us back to the screen. Alright, and God, it's pulsing. And I will move us back over here.
They have many faces and forms.
Sorry, hold
But
on.
what is their
This just started playing.
Why do we enjoy being afraid so much? During our therapy, I'll try to get
Oh. Okay, well that just kind of cemented that I need to get the rest of these. Good thing it's payday tomorrow. But we're not going to play it tonight. So we're going to move back. Also, holy crap. God damn it, I gotta go back. We missed a lot. I'm gonna have to give this game a second playthrough on my own just to see the rest of it. Or can I just unlock them all here? You'll unlock all trivia in the category, but you won't get associated achievements. You'll still have to find the very game. Do you want to continue? No. No, because I will go and look. Okay. I think the game is done throwing stuff at me as I'm trying to get towards the end here. Just exit out of this so I don't have the droning in my ears, and let's. Oh god, okay. So that thunderstorm playlist I put on, like, it's literally just called 10 hours of continuous thunderstorm sounds, but it's the same song over and over again for 10 hours. I mean, it works. All right, let me scroll back up. All right, not that one. Yeah, there we go. Well, Carpenter Brute to finish us off for the night. So, I really fucking enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Because, like, if you guys liked it, I have no problem doing something like this again. Even if it's just, like, reading a story. Actually, let me move OBS over here. So I'm not constantly looking over this way to see chat. It's pretty solid. Yeah, I thought so too. Super cool, awesome, cool. We love feedback because it helps me for future content. And like, when I was younger, I always liked like having stories read to me. And I remember back in elementary, there was a period where, like, after lunch, our teacher we'd pick up book. Not gonna promise I won't make more Invader Sim Moose references though. That's fine. I may not completely get them because I have not watched Invader Sim in a while. But feel free to make the references. Oh god, I'm sinking in my chair. But yeah, there was like a period of time after lunch where our teacher would like read us a chapter or two from a book, and I really enjoyed that. And I'm hoping I can bring the joy and like the feelings that I felt to you guys. Now, I know, you know, obviously it's not a lot of people because I'm still very small and whatnot, and I need to really work on my advertising and get a schedule thing made and blah blah blah. But yeah, but it's something I'd like to do again in the future. So I mean, if you guys are down for it, I'm definitely down for it. And it also helps me with like speaking more because I have to get used to that. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but some VTubers will literally just talk and yap for like 5 hours straight, do nothing else but just talk. And I can't really fathom that because, like, obviously, you know, I'm making an effort to talk more and keep talking and everything, respond to chat, yada yada yada. But you know, behind the scenes, I'm really not, you know, this much of a talker, so it's good practice. But we need to pull up this. Oh, okay. Oh, we moved. All right. We are gonna find someone to raid. Let's see. They just started. Let me see. One thing real quick. Did they just start? Yes, they did. Okay. Okay. We're gonna raid someone who has. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chad. I don't even know why she was that supportive of me, but I mean, I'm happy for the support. We're gonna go see a really cool dog. Her name is Aki. The channel name is Orange is Borange. So let me just set up that raid. BORANG. I don't think there's a capital there. Actually, you know what? Hold on. We live in the modern era, Moosin. We have copy paste. Okay. Hopefully that's them. Yep, that's them. All right. So, they're playing Okami. So we're gonna go give some lodge love over to Aki. I really need to set up this command. Sultry. Control V. There we go. Okay. That's our raid message. If you want to put any sort of emotes in front of and behind that, please feel free to. And this has been me. I will see you guys on Saturday, and I think I'm actually going to move that time slot to 4 o'clock. So Saturday at 4, we'll be continuing Sam and Max, and we'll see if we can go a little bit longer and make some progress. But anyways, go give Aki some love, and see you then.